You need help?
Good evening, Lieutenant Norris here with the White House Fire Department. We're here at Station 85 where we're going to be doing some extrication training. We had Bubba's Towing come over. They were supposed to come over last week and brought some of their vehicles over. Of course, we have Waterville Station 77 here. As you can see, they've got a couple things set up here for us. They were able to get a couple cars, bring over for us, a van, and I think it's a Kia. Picked up the Kia, put it on top of that van for us. And now, Instructor Mike Lord from Waterville Fire is talking to the crews about how we would handle this situation, how we would stabilize those vehicles, how we would take care of this. So I'm going to let the camera run. I'm going to narrate a little bit for you. We'll walk around and kind of go from there. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is all going on at White House Fire at Station 85. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll try to speak up close to the mic as I can. If you look here, the crews are doing stabilization on that van. They're putting some wheel chocks in to guarantee that it doesn't roll forward or backward on us. Obviously the car on the top is stabilized, so we don't have to worry about that for this, but in a real world situation we would have to worry about that until we could get a heavy wrecker on scene to take care of that for us. Instructor Lord's going over some options that we can do with the equipment that we have here, either in the city of Waterville or here in the Village White House, that we could work on this for that initial 45 minutes to maybe an hour that it would take Bubba's or another tow company to respond to our scene. Let's take an up close look here. Here crews are working with our struts. Wismer. So Captain McNutt's our training captain here at the Village of White House Fire, and he's going over just some basic rules of how to set the struts up. Struts allow us to stabilize the vehicle. They allow us to have 3 points of contact with that vehicle. So looks like Derek Francis there is throwing some webbing underneath of the vehicle, and then they'll hook that up on the other side, create 3 points of contact, and stabilize that vehicle. As with any of our fire training, I want to show you one thing that's kind of here off to the back. I'm going to circle around here and we'll see Dustin Richardson standing here. He's kind of walking around. You see he's looking up at the top of the vehicle. He's surveying some stuff and he's staying back. He's not in gear. He's kind of watching people. He's functioning as our safety officer for this training. Our safety officer, Marty Fuller, is currently at a meeting, and so Dustin's filling in that role of safety officer. So on top of having our training officer, always have a safety officer watching us, even on real world events and then also in our training scenarios. So Nick Wismer and Kyle Yeager kind of working on a plan. Wismer's running that plan by Captain McNutt, seeing what they think they can do. Have no simulated dummies in any of these cars tonight, just kind of working through what Bubba's can do for us and how we would work before they would show up to one of our scenes. There you can see another strap coming through on the other side. My guess is they're putting another one of those struts on the other side of that van. Let's walk around the back and see what we can see.
That's usually when they call me. Yeah, when it's in the house, they just call me. I just reach over and grab a hold of it. Get out of the house.
And now you can see both angles. If you look down there at the bottom left and bottom right of your screen, you'll be able to see that the Kodiak struts are on both sides of that vehicle. They'll connect them together and give us 3 points of contact with the vehicle to stabilize it. Again, that safety officer just kind of roaming around and making sure that everyone's staying safe and doing what they need to be doing. The thing that Kyle Yeager's got there in his hand is some step chocks. Those are off a Waterville engine 77, and those allow us to step chock the vehicle to make sure that it doesn't move. Those ones are, they go up in height, and so we can put those in on the sides of vehicles or use them directly on the tires. We're just using our plastic individual chocks there on the wheels of this one. They've got those step chocks out. Looks like maybe they're going to use those up on the roof. See, they're using those upside down to try to secure that a little bit. Instructor Yeager was talking a little bit earlier about a technique called marrying. So they're talking about possibly securing those two vehicles together so that they don't rock, they don't move back and forth, and that wouldn't fall off if we had to gain access to the top vehicle. And you can kind of see the ongoing discussion with Captain McNutt and Instructor Lord there. And the ever-vigilant safety officer over there on the right side of your screen walking around the front. Walk back around the side here and see what we can see. Take a look here. Crew's got a roof ladder off of one of our vehicles. They're maybe making some preps to get into that top vehicle if we had to, figuring out a game plan for that. If we look over here, this is White House engine 85. I want to show you, it's what we call a rescue engine. In the back of it there, in that rear compartment, or what we call the jaws of life, we have a set of cutters, a set of spreaders, and a combi tool. Have a couple of rams. We have that built-in hydraulic pump and those two cord reels, or hose reels, excuse me, that allow us to take those tools off the truck. If I slide over here and look at this front compartment, there's also a portable pump there. In the event that the extrication is too far away from the vehicle, that those initial cord reels of 100 feet don't reach, we can take that portable pump, go off scene, and use the extra hose there to hook those up and run an extrication wherever we need to away from the truck. Obviously, we try to use the truck most of the time. It's got our fire suppression on it, has our auto extrication equipment on, has all the water we need, along with scene lighting. So we like to stay close to the truck if we can, but sometimes we're just not able to do that. Let's see what we're doing over here now. So Nick Bechtel's got the ladder out. They're trying to figure out how they want to go up to that car. You can see they've used step chocks in the front and in the back of it to kind of stabilize it together. Or I should say to stabilize it so it won't rock back and forth. I'm gonna flip you guys around here real quick. This is Mike Lord from Waterville Fire. He's one of the lead instructors tonight. So Mike, what are you, we brought Bubba's out, we brought some tow trucks, some extra cars out, some tow trucks. What are you hoping to accomplish?
Tonight to get a little more in depth. A lot of times when we're doing some extrication, it's kind of, you know, maybe a door pop, cutting a roof, stuff like that. This is to get the guys to think a little more when we get into those accidents on those scenes. You run into something that's getting a little more in depth, getting some teamwork going here, get the gears really rolling.
Where would we see something like this? Now, White House, I mean, we're a tiny little village, man. I'm not going to see this. Am I?
It could be possible. We could have, you know, one car flip, just like a freak accident. More likely your bridge areas. Actually, right over there at 24 and Waterville White House right here.
24 and 64
yeah,
over by
24
Kroger's.
Yep, over there by
might
Kroger.
see something there. And you guys cover 24, and we would respond auto aid or mutual aid with you on that.
Correct. And this definitely would be a situation where, yeah, that auto aid would come into play.
I'm sure responders saw something like this at the turnpike crash this previous winter, where all the cars kind of piled up.
Correct.
I'll say myself, I actually, my first year here in White House, had to do a cardiac arrest for a guy that was ejected out of his car and landed on top of a boat. And it's like, you know, I'm one of the only people probably that has marked patient found on boat.
Right.
But that boat was on a trailer in storage behind a garage, and the guy was actually ejected over the garage on top of that. So there's times where we have those extrications that are going to be over and above the normal, like you said, a door pop.
Right. Yeah. Typically, you know, anytime I roll up on scene, I never expect the same thing twice. It's always something different. But as you can see here, we've got a lot of guys working together. It's kind of it's a joint task, especially if this was reality. That second response from either you guys or us would be very important. We needing that extra equipment, those extra hands, even those extra set of eyes to kind of look around and be like, hey, I see something we should try here. As you see, their original plan was kind of, they were going to take a window out and try to run a strap through. But now the plan's changed to, we're gonna run straps to the tires and try to, what we call marry those together and stabilize the car that way. So plans change in the middle, and it's a good thing they're all kind of taking a step back, and that's what we're hoping to see is working together. Everybody's putting their 2 cents in and accomplish the goal.
Yeah, I saw they brought out the big roof ladder first. Now they've brought out the expandable ladder there to kind of get a little bit shorter. So this is one of the great things about the co-op between Waterville and White House, where we've got 2 departments working together. We can kind of rely on each other and lean on each other for suggestions and ideas, manpower, and equipment. So if it's something that the Village White House Fire doesn't have, it's something the City of Waterville Fire might have, and I can call over there and they can bring it over to us. So thanks for your time, and I'll let you get back to teaching. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's slide over here to the side and see if we can't see some more stuff. There's lots of little extra training that goes on. If you look over here, you can see Captain Snyder's talking to one of the Bubba's guys. So I'm sure he's going over some of the capabilities of the truck and things, learning a little bit more about their equipment, telling the Bubba's guy what we can do with our equipment, and kind of bouncing ideas off each other for these weird situations, on top of all this training that's going on. So there you can see, kind of like Mike Lord was telling us, they've changed plans. Now they're hooking into just the rims of the wheels and trying to secure them that way. Nick Bechtel was up there clipping that webbing in. We're going to go to the back and clip another set of webbing in back there. They're going over to the other side. Let's see what they're doing. I bet they're doing the same thing, but let's see. Let's take a look. So standing on the ladder there is Spencer Wilkerson. He's one of our newer firefighters. Been in the department for a year or two. Has never seen anything like this in real life. And some of the more experienced ones are sitting there helping him, guiding him a little bit, throwing out some suggestions and letting him try some stuff. So this is the great part about training, is if you haven't seen it in real life, you can come to training and maybe see something that will give you a hint or a clue of something to do when you see something similar. So Jim Christian says, would it be safer to connect to the unibody? And Jim, it's funny, I was just kind of thinking about that. That strap over on the other side, instead of clipping into the wheel rim, I think I would have clipped it on up to the unibody itself, because the rim is going to move with the suspension, even the rotation of the wheel. But they're not really thinking of that right now. They're thinking of how to absorb all that extra webbing. So I think Jim's got a good point, but we'll see how this works. That's the great part about training, trying stuff and seeing if it works, seeing if it doesn't work, seeing what the faults are with it. Rotate around here so you can see Mike Lord's here kind of walking back and forth, watching what they're doing, giving some tips and tricks along the way. And here we go with Spencer, going back up to that front wheel. I'm going to walk around to the back here and see what we can see. I want to point out to you kind of the strength of White House Fire. We're still a combination department where we have our citizen volunteers coming in along with our part-time and our career guys. So if you look right there, Nick Wismer, he's one of our career guys on Life Squad 9, and then he's talking to Mike Gerber, who is one of our newer volunteers who's been in the department for about a year or so. Retired from the EPA, decided to join his local fire department, went and got the training, and is now learning how to do this job in his spare time. Said he could give us 2, 3, 4 years in his retirement, so we took him up on the deal, and now he's helping out, coming out on EMS calls and helping out his community. Then if you look right to the right of him, he's kind of looking away from me, the shorter guy there is Tom Vinson. He's actually been on the department for, I want to say, close to or over 30 years. Tom's a retired Toledo public school teacher. He was a phys ed instructor, maintains his healthy lifestyle, and if you look over in the side of the fire station, you'll see that he rode his bike to training tonight from the village. So lives here in the village, and again, fills in that role, coming up and helping us when we need some extra manpower, some extra hands. So they're having to coordinate when they tighten these straps, because if they tighten the rear ones and the front ones are loose, they'll rock the vehicle. So in essence, they need to tighten all 4 straps kind of at the same time. You can see here they're doing the same thing, getting those straps tightened, getting ready to apply pressure to them. Nick just verified the left side's ready to go. So Nick's making a game plan with Spencer here. They're going to coordinate tightening these 4 straps together. Let's slide around to the front here and see if we can see a little bit better. Thanks for the comment, Shelby. Appreciate it. Always adding to our toolbox. So I pulled the operator of this massive truck over from Bubba's. As you guys can see, this is quite a large apparatus. I'm guessing a very expensive piece of equipment. So who do I have from Bubba's?
I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim. So you guys are Bubba's Towing. You're over in Monclova.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about you. A little bit about this truck. A little bit about what you brought to us.
So this is a 2019 NRC 65-ton rotator.
65-ton rotator. So you can pick up 65 tons off of that big arm there.
Basically, in a perfect world, yes.
Okay.
So it's a 4-winch truck that we use for recovery only at Bubba's Towing. We don't tow with this truck. It doesn't even have a wheel lift on it. We use this for just recovery only. It's a sliding boom, as you seen earlier. We can slide back with it, which gives us, like when we're dealing with steel coils that come off of trucks, we're able to slide back, pick them up, come around, load them onto another truck to get them out of the way. It's a very handy, versatile truck. We use it a lot for this right here. This
great. Use it for crash recovery, picking up all kinds of stuff. You said steel rolls, probably train cars, and
yeah, we've picked up locomotives with it. We've done train cars. We've done steel coils, paper rolls. We were out at North Star earlier, uprighted a dump box that fell over, you know, that was still loaded. So we use this truck a lot just for that reason.
So this is something that White House Fire or Waterville Fire gets in a pinch. I need some extra heavy lifting that I don't have. We can call and you guys will come out.
We'll be right
there.
Well,
I promised Tim I wouldn't put him on camera, so I'll stick to that promise. But thanks for the tour of the truck. Thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
I'll say I snuck him in on camera. That's Tim there talking to Captain McNutt, going over some things of this stabilization, maybe some failure points, maybe some strengths, maybe some weaknesses, seeing what he thinks. Apologize, I'm standing pretty close to the truck, the rotator here, but you can see Tim's going over some of the strengths and weaknesses of what they've done there with them, kind of reviewing with the crew, goods and bads. I'll walk around the other side. I can stand back here a little bit quieter for you folks at home. I think what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and cut off the live feed. I'll go ahead and take some videos and some pictures of the training as we progress throughout the night. We're going to run a couple other scenarios, a couple other incidents, and see what the crews can do. I think they're going to pick up that car, put it on its side, and do some other evolutions since we got the cars out here and we're able to go go about that, and have some experts here to help us out, see if we can put some new tools in the toolbox like Shelby said. So thanks for joining us. You can kick it up on White House Fire. Follow us on all the social media, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. You can see some of our virtual tours and such going on. And other than that, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.